All right, what's up, everybody? Guess you want to call it the Garage Talk host as well as league commissioner Jacob Black here. Today I'm joined with Mike Crow. Mike, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it, man. We just wrapped up the end of the 2019 Summer League. I think we played 35, 36 games in total. We had 9 teams. Starting next Sunday, we start our playoffs. I think we've got a pretty good group for that. Don't give me that look. But as going through, this is new to me, so this is a learning curve for me as far as doing the show. But we're going to pick up the more we get involved with, the more guests we're going to have on the show. I think the more fun we're going to have. One thing that stood out to me was when I put out about doing the show, instead of just saying, ooh, me, first thing Mike wanted to know is what we're going to talk about. So that was kind of a catch-all for me as far as, hey, let's get Mike on the show. So first thing, I'll tell you what, let's talk with Mike first. Mike, why don't you give everybody a little bit of your experience about all of your flag playing experience?
Sure. The first time I think I played flag football was probably 2006, 2007 time frame in Wilkesboro. I played for a couple of years up there. That was a 9-man league. Then I went to law school. I played some intramural flag football in law school the 3 years that I was there. And then skip forward here to about a year ago, I started playing with Camel City flag football. Right
on. So you were talking about 9-man, so it's a completely different animal than 5-man, what we're used to. How close to regular football is that?
It seems a lot more similar to regular football. It was a non-contact 9-man league, though, so it was a little different in that respect. But it was, I say non-contact, there's contact on the line.
Right.
There was non-contact in the rest of the field. So it was a mix of contact, non-contact, but the basic scheme of football and the way things were played was much more similar to what you might see on TV or with college or NFL versus the football that we're playing out here at Camel City, the 5-man.
Right. Because it seems like 5-man, it's all about the scheme, all about the concept. You can have 5 complete total athletes, but if you're there, they don't know what they're doing, they struggle. So, Mike, this past year, if I'm not mistaken, you went down to nationals for the first time.
Correct.
What was your experience like with that?
Nationals was quite amazing. Actually, it was really interesting to see the number of people that were there at nationals. Just the number of teams there was unbelievable. But then just the number of spectators as well.
Really?
I mean, I think there had to be 30 fields at nationals that were playing football basically all day long.
Really?
I mean, it was pretty rare that you saw a field without a team on it. So that was really interesting to me. We're lucky around here to see. Well, this year we've got 9 teams in the league.
Right.
So, and that seems like a lot, but you go down there and there's 300 teams.
Sure, absolutely. There's people flying around everywhere, and that's a cool thing too. I think I was asked a couple weeks ago, how many teams do we have? I throw the number closer to 15 on an average because we have teams that come, teams that take time off. There's a balance, and really it does seem like quite a bit. So what will you be returning down to nationals this year?
That's the hope.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I plan to go to nationals this year, possibly 2 different ones.
2 different ones. So you're going to try to double dip on that, huh?
We'll see. Yeah. I wouldn't mind on that.
Right. That actually, a couple of weeks ago, I was just down there. It's about a 2-hour drive difference. It's not terrible. I was going to say, is your team Infinity, where are they thinking about going?
That's a good question. I'm not sure if Infinity will be traveling or not.
Right.
As of right now, Infinity's only been playing local league.
Right.
A handful of guys from Infinity have joined Savages, and we've been traveling with them.
Right.
Currently, with Savages, we have a bid to Top Gun Nationals, which I believe is in about 2 months.
Right.
And then we've discussed both Orlando and Daytona Beach for nationals as well. So we're not really sure where we're going to go there yet.
Right.
I'm thinking everybody's leaning a little more toward the Daytona Beach, though.
Yeah, that's honestly, I not bad mouthing either organization, but I keep hearing that around the league. Let's see here. When you're traveling around, because you guys have played, you played in Top Gun, you played in Camel City, you've played in a handful of these other leagues and tournaments and whatnot. What is it you guys look for when you say, okay, this is where we want to go?
Consistency is a big thing.
True.
For sure, we like to go out to places that we know are going to run on time as much as possible, that have contingency plans in place in case of inclement weather or we can't play on one field or something, which has happened where tournaments get canceled and then they move to a different place and guys can't make it. So just having people who are organized,
Right.
And consistency in the reffing. It's really difficult, and that was something we saw at Nationals, where you're on one field and the refs say, you can do this, and you move to the next field and you do that same thing, and they're throwing a penalty on you. So consistency is probably key.
Right, absolutely. Something you really see going through these different organizations is different organizations have different rules, and I think the biggest thing that's hurting us right now as well, since we are affiliated with the UFFL, is and then I know they're working on it, but with us, there not being a standard for the rules, it's what do we revert back to? So that's why we sat down, we revamped our rules, but then again, that hurts guys going forward and going to other organizations. I think looking forward, I am looking forward to there being a standard, and I wish there could be a standard across the board so there would be no question. Let's see here. What other thoughts do you have, Mike?
Other thoughts I have? I'm with you with the standard set of rules. I think that would be a good idea throughout the flag football world, regardless of whether you're playing Battle or Top Gun or UFFL, whoever you're playing. I think having a standard set of 5-man rules, standard set of 7-man rules would be pretty helpful. I certainly think, and you and I have talked about this before, I think they need to be real cognizant of player safety.
Absolutely.
Most of these guys out here are, a lot of the guys that I play with are fathers and have families to go home to, and they work throughout the week, and so they definitely don't want to come out there and sustain an injury that's going to take them out of work.
Right.
So I think player safety is certainly something, and for the most part, I think I've seen it's pretty safe everywhere you go. Once in a while, you get people who get a little bit out of hand. As long as the leagues or the organizations are taking the right steps with those guys when that happens, then
Right.
I think player safety will always remain paramount.
Absolutely. Something I do want to jump into. We can talk a little bit about league play for you guys. You look at y'all's record. You finished 5-3, finished the season strong. When you guys came in last Sunday, what were some thoughts, going into those two games? Obviously they're must win for y'all to maintain a good playoff seed. I think you guys finished in 4th. But what were some thoughts? What was going through the team's mind?
Well, certainly to win, but communication. I think that's been our biggest downfall this year. There's been a little bit of lack of communication on both sides of the ball. I think it primarily boils down to the fact that we've had a lot of injuries on Infinity, and
Sure.
so we've had to pick up different guys that we've not had an opportunity to play with before, and so we sometimes forget that they don't know the schemes that we're running, or they're not accustomed to the changes that we'll make when a team does something, and we just fail to communicate. So certainly these last 2 games that we had, we were kind of back to more the core of Infinity players
Right.
out there on the field. And I think that showed that there wasn't those lack of communication going on, and that resulted in wins that were a little less contested than some of our other wins.
Right, absolutely, and you see that too, where you see when guys start to fall off, and you bring in new guys, and the chemistry you have to build, and while you would think you have enough time, 8 games, you think about it, that's only 3. That's about 4 hours worth of play. That's not a lot of time.
No, it's not. And it is what it is. We deal with it and kind of move forward. And like I said, most of these guys work, so getting getting the time to get together and practice is
Extremely difficult.
Yeah, it's very difficult for teams to do, and I know we're not the only team that struggles with that. And then you've got teams that are coming from places like Fayetteville and Charlotte. And I know that's probably even more difficult from them because now they're spending an hour, 2 hours in the car one way. So that's even less time that they have to be out doing things.
Right, absolutely. So, hey, we're going to jump to a quick break real quick. He doesn't know it yet, but Hall of Famer Matt Morton for our Hall of Fame, our 2019 class just arrived. We're going to bring him in. We're going to talk to him for a minute as well. We'll be right back.
Garage Talk. Garage Talk.
All right, guys, and we're back. I'm back here with Infinity athletes, Mike Crow and Matt Morton. Matt, thanks for joining us as well.
Thanks for having me.
No problem, buddy. So the next thing I want to jump into, Mike and I just talked a little bit about Infinity and kind of the direction they're going and what was going on with the team. But I want to talk about the Hall of Fame class. Last year we inducted one person, and we inducted a contributor, being Bob Richardson. For those of you guys who don't know, quick backstory on Bob. He, in 2001, started flag football here in Winston-Salem, outside of like the intramural level. He started the Winston-Salem League. The city ended up taking it over. However, he kept the drive going for it. He was also one who, I don't want to say pushed me, but brought up the idea of starting a league back in Winston-Salem. He was a huge help. He's a tremendous player. He's semi-retired now. He's looking at coming out of retirement for a couple small tournaments this year. But he was our first Hall of Fame inductee. This year we decided that we've had enough time now where players have been able to, that have played with us for the last year and a half, have started to build a big enough resume that we can consider inducting one more on a player performance level. Now, when we do that, you have to have, we base it on a point system. You have to have 12 points to be eligible, cumulative. The way the points work is our very first Secret Santa tournament in 2017 of December of that year, before we started the league, that was worth 4. Any league play is worth 3 points. The draft tournament we had September of 2018 was worth 3 points as well. And any tournament past and future otherwise was worth 2 points. Now, both of you are eligible in this room for that. I think Matt and maybe 3 other people that I know of, if they were to play all the way through, would have collectively all the points that you would need. And with that, I said we're going to induct one performance level. We're also going to induct 2 contributing levels. Excuse me, sorry, losing my voice a little bit here. But Matt, in case you didn't realize, but you've been a huge contributor to flag football. And as much as I've agreed, I think Mike agrees too, your flag football tree is bigger than anybody else's. You're also one that deserves to be in this probably more than anybody else too.
Yeah, I got you started in flag
you
football.
You sure did. You got me
from
started.
Domino's.
Yep, sure did. So Matt, you will be one of the 2 from the contributing level in December when we have our Hall of Fame induction ceremony. That's going to be inducted. We thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
It's pretty
Matt.
awesome. I've had a lot of experience playing flag.
So, speaking of experience, why don't you tell everyone your experience.
Well, I started in the Winston-Salem City League back in 2010 with a team called Freakway with my buddy Mike Alfaro, and then I played with his team for 2 seasons, and then I asked Jacob, and we did a little something with Mean Machine for a season, and then we switched over to try flag football and did 5-man, and then
we played together for probably about 2 years. Do you remember all the teams you've played with?
I mean, I've played as Freakway, Mean Machine. We did a co-ed Mean Machine one year. Yep. We did. I've did co-ed with a team called Shake and Bake, and then I played Carolina Huskies, Infinity, Purple Rain, Jaguars.
You're running out of fingers.
Yeah, a lot of teams.
Yeah. What are some of your fondest moments of playing?
Just getting out there and having fun and making people happy.
Is there any one game that that sticks out to you the most?
I mean, I played 6-on-6 co-ed and triad flag football and had 2 touchdown passes. And
Right on.
it was a good day.
Mike, what's a fond memory of Matt Morton at flag football?
I remember Matt went 100% for passing touchdowns in the Camel City
That's
League.
right, the inaugural league. I remember
Yep.
that. What was it, like 2 or 3 pats? But it was like they were lengthy touchdowns too.
That was like full field touchdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can remember Matt asking if I wanted to play, and I had no clue this was even a thing. And then you get into and involved with it, and you see how big it is. And if anybody who's listening, anybody who's involved with the league, anybody around North Carolina should know, like, Matt's tree, as far as people being connected to flag football and getting started, is probably bigger than any other. I've seen him put 8-man teams together, the hardware hitters. I remember that team.
Hardware hitters one year with work. A couple guys from my old work. We got sponsored and we just threw something together, but it wasn't very good.
You had fun though, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember you played with All American Dream Team?
Yeah, I did play with All American Dream Team 1 year too, 8-man, and then I played with the free agent team in 8-man,
Right.
and then I've done mostly teams that I've done or played with Jacob.
Yep. Good stuff.
We also did Justice League.
Yep.
Put
Yeah,
together-
the Justice League too.
Put
I
together-
played at the Carolina Panthers Weekend Warrior tournament 3 years.
Right. I'm gonna say you got quite a bit of playing experience. So I think last year you opted not to go, but this year are you looking at going to nationals?
I'm hoping to go to nationals this year
Yeah.
if everything works out.
Right.
Yes.
So with everything and everywhere you've played, when you're looking around trying to figure out where you want to play, what you want to do, and getting guys together, what's some things you look for? Like when you say, okay, like this.
I want people that will be committed and people that will actually pay. Some people that I've had in the past don't. Say they're down, they come, but I have to force the money a little bit.
Yeah.
And
I
just
understand.
people that will be committed. And
Right. I also like to point out Matt Morton's here, the only one wearing a Camel City flag football shirt. That's me included. Just to show how committed to the cause he is. I do want to go over some more dates with what we have left in the year. And I'm pretty sure these don't conflict with anybody else as far as what all they have going on. Our most upcoming tournament is August 25th. That's our Heat Wave Havoc. The price range for the league fee or a tournament fee, it's $215. And there's a team count for each number of teams you have with a payout. I think 4 to 5 teams doesn't pay anything out, but greater than that, there's a little bit of cash to be made. September 29th kicks off our fall league. That'll be our last league play for the year. We've opted to not. After that, we'll be wrapping up the year with our second annual Feast Mode tournament and our third annual Secret Santa Flag Football tournament. Feast Mode is a cash prize tournament as well. It's a $215 entry fee. That's on November 16th. And our third annual Secret Santa tournament is a $20 entry fee and a donation of a toy from each player. That benefits the children at Brenner's Children's Hospital. That as well, like last year, will be our Hall of Fame induction ceremony during the break of pool play. At this point, guys, that's all I really have. But I do want to I want to hear some more from you guys. What do you guys? What are y'all's plans going forward for the rest of this year?
Can I say something quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
So for anybody who doesn't know, $215 is really cheap for a tournament. So if you're looking to put a team in, guys, these are great tournaments to do. I know Infinity will be at Heatwave Havoc. Look for some change-ups in the lineup there. as far as I know. And even league fee, $350 for leagues is really nothing. That's, you're talking about you're going to play probably 8 or more games during the season, plus then you've got playoffs, and divide that between your guys. Most teams are running with 12 to 15 guys. It's really nothing for several weekends of getting out and having a good time and getting camaraderie and getting to meet a lot of guys. I've met so many people through flag football from all over the state of North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, you name it. I've met guys from all over the U.S. and specifically all over North Carolina. So it's definitely a great way to get out and meet people, have a good time, and it's really not that expensive when you think about it.
Something that does include when you're talking about the league, and actually anything we do in our price is included in the ref fees are included. I know a lot of places have a habit of they'll charge a certain amount and then they'll have ref fees tacked on afterwards that you owe each week. And I know as a former I captain a couple of teams occasionally. As a captain, I look at that and I get frustrated because then if you don't factor that in immediately with guys, I understand that adds up and it becomes the captain's responsibility. So we try to take that off of you. So that is included as well. Something not to worry about. All of our tournaments are, while they're double elimination, they are 3 games guaranteed. To me, at first, that didn't make sense, but it does work. So everybody will get 3 games. I feel like that's worth your money. You're getting what your money's worth.
As well.
Thank you. Dang, we're at 3:36. Got plenty of time. I tell you what, let's let's pull up one of the highlight videos. If you can go over, we're gonna look at Infinity last week. Unfortunately, we haven't gotten the videos edited for this week, but we're gonna go not that one. Scroll down. Let's see here.
Here's one.
Where are we at? Right here. Click on this one, 9:59. All right. So this right here, let's just get your all's opinion. Tell me what are some thoughts of the games? What are some thoughts of what all happened here? This is, we're looking right now at Thundercats and Infinity.
Thundercats are a team with a lot of experience. And we did lose this game. And we lost this game single-handedly to Sharif Nash. Shout out to Sharif for being an absolute track star.
Absolutely. He is a monster. I think he showed up a little bit late, too, so he had fresh legs on the day.
He did. He did get there a little late. I think Thundercats had actually already played a game before this, so a lot of their guys were feeling fatigued. But you can see Sharif is he's just tearing through our defense. Unfortunately, I think he scored 4 touchdowns that game, and take his 4 scores away, and it's a totally different game. But
right.
In the first half, we looked not that good. Second half, we came back and made it a game, and we only lost by a little of a not that big of a margin.
Yeah, I think it ended up being an 8-point game.
I was going to say
within basically a 1-score game, but. Nevertheless, it shouldn't have.
And it helps to have Isaac playing receiver for us, too.
It does. But we were down 28-0 at half, so that just kind of shows how much, I think it would end up being 35-28
Something like that.
Yeah.
at the end. So, we really did come back.
Right.
But Sharif really, he just chewed us up that first half.
Right.
There was certainly some missed blocks, I think, myself included. And defensively, I think we weren't respecting Sharif well enough, not giving him the space that we probably should have. Or if we were playing up on him, we weren't jamming him well enough off the line. So,
Right.
Those are things that we need to work on when we have receivers like him to play against. Since that game, we've had several guys get injured in other tournaments, so our defense is now even different than what was on the field at that point.
So what are you thinking going into the playoffs? Fortunately, if you're looking at this, you guys are not on the Thundercats side of the bracket. First game you guys do play is World Peace. Unfortunately, we don't have any video of that game. I don't think.
I think the side of the bracket that we have is actually a pretty difficult bracket.
Absolutely.
World Peace is they're a really good team. There's a bunch of athletes out there. A lot of those guys have a lot of flag football. At least the offense on that team has a lot of flag football experience, and their defense. Those guys are playing a lot of arena ball and semi-pro ball, so they're just athletes in general. That's going to be a difficult game. Assuming that we win that game, which we feel confident we can.
Right.
We're looking at potentially facing Conspiracy Theory, presuming that they win their game as well.
Right.
But I think they're going
Beat us by a point in
they beat us by a
overtime.
point. But they're
first week, yeah.
they're a team that really gels well together. They've been playing together for a long time, and they're difficult. Every time we meet them, it's a battle. So
Right.
it's going to be a tough road to a championship, but we're going to give it our all.
Right. I'm really excited to watch how this plays out for you guys. I'm excited to watch how it plays out for everybody. And you talk about the experience that World Peace does have. I want to give a shout out. I don't know I think you guys were still there last Sunday. They had 5 seconds left on the clock, and they got the ball at their own 5, and they had to walk it down to score. And one play, they took off and went the whole distance of the field. And it wasn't a long pass. It wasn't a bomb. No one got beat. It was methodical. They played their game. They ran their lanes, and they used the lateral technique that they do better than just about anybody I know.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, they actually scored twice probably in the last 3 minutes of the game to come out with that win. 'Cause they came out a little flat,
Right.
Especially on defense that day. And they were. I think they only had 5 guys out there. So
Right.
they were looking kind of fatigued. It was extremely hot.
Yep.
But, they persevered and kept playing and just relied on that national championship offense that they have.
Right.
And the experience that they have and came out with a win. They can't take nothing from them. They're a great team with a lot of great athletes.
Absolutely. While I'm thinking about it, because
Dallas Steelman with a fantastic pitch. I don't know if you just saw that. That was,
Yes, that was-
no look. Pitched it right to me, hit me in the hands.
that's something else too. You guys, you and Dallas and Isaac, and even TJ. Now that he started playing with you guys more, you guys the chemistry y'all have like that on that one play it speaks volumes. It shows a lot, and in today's game, you see that less and less. You have some teams that truly stick together, but then you have some guys that play they'll play one season, get frustrated, and you'll see them move on. They won't do anything.
Correct. Yeah, it doesn't matter how much of an athlete you are out here on this. If you don't have any experience together, it makes the game difficult.
Right.
Certainly, the better the athlete, the easier they are to just plug in and play.
Right.
But playing together consistently makes teams better, especially in 5-man. It really is about the scheme and knowing where guys are going to be at in the field and knowing what your responsibility is at whatever position you're at, so that you're making the right blocks, so you're running the right routes.
Absolutely.
That's really key to being a successful team. And there are a handful of us on Infinity that have been playing together now for about a year, and we've played in multiple different formats. 5-man, 6-man, 4-man. Some of us have played some 7-man and 8-man. So
Right.
we've really spent quite a bit of time playing together, and I think it shows when you see at least that group of guys on the field.
Absolutely. And I keep looking at him, and I keep forgetting. And let me before I say anything else, let me give some shout outs here to some award winners. The league awards came out yesterday. Let me give a shout out to Patrick Midkiff for winning his 3rd offensive MVP in the history of Camel City flag football. He had 24 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing, and 1 lateral assist. He took quarterback of the year with that as well. Our wide receiver of the year was Greg McIntyre. He came out with 31 receptions and 11 touchdowns. Let me hit one more with our blocker of the year. This one, we saw there was some controversy. Myself and Jordan, our head referee, argued for about 30 minutes about all 3 of you guys there, because Mike was a finalist for blocker of the year, and we would start arguing for one, and by the time about 5 minutes later, we were arguing for another one. And we probably went in a circle probably 2 different times before finally coming to a conclusion. That was by far the most difficult decision we've had to make. Whereas in seasons past, it's been what we thought was clear cut. So congratulations to Cornelius Davis for winning that.
Yeah. Great job, Corn.
Our defensive MVP and defensive back of the year was Doche Mercer with 25 flag pulls, 6 interceptions with 4 pick sixes. Man, you wouldn't when that guy sits back there, you wouldn't suspect him to be as agile.
Is he the gentleman on All-American Dream Team?
He is.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. He's got some fantastic hands.
He does.
He really does. He's a bigger guy, but he can move and he can jump and he can catch.
Yes, he can.
It's really impressive to watch him play.
He's you wouldn't think it, but anywhere the ball is and he's near it, he usually comes down with it.
I agree.
I saw somebody ask him how many times he drops the ball, and I don't think I've ever seen him drop a ball.
I have yet.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the first season that I've got to see him. I didn't know who he was before this season, but he's impressed me.
Right, absolutely. Moving to rusher of the year, Jeff Cole took that one with I believe I don't remember how many flag pulls he had, but he had 9 sacks and one of them being a safety. So congrats to Jeff. Let's see, we had our captain of the year was Andrew Tuttle. It was funny. I was talking to his team the other day, and they were early, but they were waiting on him, waiting for him. He had all the jerseys, takes care of all the jerseys for his team. Make sure they're all clean, they're all maintained, they're not all ripped and holy and whatnot. They were saying that I was asking, I said, "Where are y'all's jerseys? You're not going to wear anything?" And they said, "No, he's the one who keeps up with them." I said, "Oh, okay. Well, excuse me." But and then our final award was Mr. Camel City. And nominating this, we try to look at who best represents Camel City flag football. Matt, if I'm not mistaken, you won Mr. Camel City the first year, right?
Yes.
No, you won Captain of the Year.
Yeah,
That's right. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I misspoke there. But you'd be a front runner for this one as well, I think.
Yeah.
But when we came to this award, we said, okay, who best represents the league this year? And while there was a ton of candidates, we felt like we have a video of the two of the ones that were nominated with Wayne Crowell and Dom Willis before the games. First time I'd seen it out on our field this season, at least. I know it happens in other times, but this is the first time I've actually physically laid eyes on it. The 2 guys shook hands before the game and said good luck to each other, and then went head to head. And it impresses you to see some stuff like that, because then you have other instances where guys are trying to fight and they're causing problems and they're talking smack. But these 2 dudes knew they were getting ready to clash and wished each other luck. They were genuine about it. So that was part of our reason for that. And then Brandon Copeland was another guy, and he was actually the one who won it. So congrats to Brandon from the Killer Bees. But he's a guy who never complains. Whether he thinks it's a bad call or not, he'll let you know what he thought. But he'll do it in a tactful way, kind of like Mike.
Thanks. Mike
will do that too. He'll let you know whether he agrees or not, but doesn't blow his top. But with that, guys, I think if there's anything else you guys would like to say, I think we're going to wrap up from here.
Sure, I'll say something really
Go
quick.
ahead, Matt.
You had mentioned about being tactful. I think that's one thing that Infinity has learned in the past years. That it really doesn't. You see a lot of these teams out here who are really, really talented, and they get a little frustrated with the play, and they start getting at each other.
Sure.
And as soon as that happens, the team starts to fall apart. And that's
Absolutely.
something that you don't see happen with Infinity. I shouldn't say it doesn't happen. It rarely happens where the guys on Infinity are fighting between each other.
Right.
And so, it's one of those great things about football is it's going to test you sometimes.
Absolutely.
It's going to test your patience. And so, it's a good way to get out there and really learn how to be patient and how to, own up to the mistakes that you make and work to be better for the next time, and how to criticize each other in constructive ways so that the team can get better as opposed to breaking the team down. I encourage anybody out there that's playing to try to do that. Your team's only going to get better.
Absolutely, and that's something too that I've watched. If you look at the standings, and you feel for who's the newer teams, and I don't want to say they point themselves out, but typically they're the ones who are learning, they're struggling, but they're still getting at it. And speaking from somebody who had that new team who went 0-7, 0-8, and was getting beat 60-0, you can take it one of two ways. You can get absolutely just blow your top mad, or you can say, okay, this is what happened. This is what we do to learn from it. This is where we improve. And if you're willing to do that and willing to buy in and stick with a core group of guys, because I think that's something I can commend you guys for as well, as while you guys came in and you guys hung with the better ones, hung with the better teams, even at first. But you guys have stuck together. And the teams that stick together are the ones that do well. They do well in the long run. You look at the Thundercats, you look at Killer Bees, you look at Conspiracy Theory, you look at you guys now, where you guys are. You look at World Peace, you look at all these new teams, or these older, I don't want to say older, but these veteran teams and how well they do. They stay together. They play together. They'll argue but they don't let it get to a level where they don't want to be around each other anymore.
Correct. It's a constructive type of criticism. It's a little arguing back and forth, but it's not. It's to get better. It's not really breaking each other down like you see with some teams. And I've seen teams in tournaments just absolutely get each other to the point that guys just leave.
Right.
And the team's stuck there, and they have to take forfeits because they don't have enough players.
Right.
It's not good for the team. It's not good for the individual person. It's just not worth it.
Right. Absolutely. Completely agree. Matt, is there anything you'd like to add to this, man? I mean, you just got inducted into, or you just didn't get inducted, but you were just named to be inducted to our Hall of Fame.
Yeah, teams that, I experienced firsthand from we lost a lot of games our first year playing 5-man, me and Jacob, and we got the record for most points scored on us, 72. 72 points in a game, but we stuck it out, but we didn't. We had fun, and we didn't get mad at each other. We just showed up and played, and I've seen it where teams get mad and they want to quit, and other teams that don't get mad and they succeed.
Yeah, I agree, Matt. I agree.
Yeah.
And to Matt's point, that game we did get 72 points scored on us. We did score 18 in that game, though.
Yes, we did score 18, but we lost 72-18.
But that was the thing. We were learning. We were having fun as much as we could.
Yeah, we were.
But the big thing is just just grow with it, and I think this league is great for that. And if people are willing to buy in, I think that will benefit them tremendously.
But I agree. This league, when it first started to now, it's more competitive and you get more.
Extremely more.
Yes, like from our first season of 7 teams on Tuesday nights to now, it's grown and a lot of people want to play.
I agree. I'm excited where this league's got to go, and I thank you guys for coming on and being the first ones on the show.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.
I think we're gonna try to do it more on a weekly basis, or more frequently. But this is Jacob Black signing off. Thanks again, guys.
Listen, I'm tired of this bullshit. I don't get paid enough to do this.
You're not getting paid
You
at all.
understand me? I heard that. I expect my $75 for showing up today.
No, it's Sunday. Playboy.
Today.
Playboy.
Today and Sunday. I need it. I want your money. Give me money, Daddy. Come on. I need it.